And George Bush Jr. said to the Georgians, go ahead and reassert sovereignty over your breakaway territories, we'll back you. And so they do this, and of course Putin uses this as an excuse to invade Georgia. And so the Georgians immediately go, okay, you said you would back us, what are you going to do? And there were Georgian troops in Iraq helping, part of the coalition of the willing, and George Bush Jr. put them on transports and flew them into Georgia. And the Georgians were like, your definition of assistance was to transport our troops to their death.
So, to put it bluntly, this is nonsense. Without delving into the entire long, complex relationship between Georgia's breakaway regions and Tbilisi, the USA was not the cause of the 2008 Russo-Georgian War. This was sparked by South Ossetian aggression, Georgian retaliation, and premeditated Russian interference. As of the early 2000s, there were 3 secessionist redoubts in Georgia. These were Adjara in the southwest bordering Turkey, and Abkhazia and South Ossetia bordering Russia. Adjara was retaken in 2004 with relative ease, in line with President Mikhail Saakashvili's intention to reunify the country. Despite this success, attempts at reasserting government control in South Ossetia failed, with fighting between Georgian and Ossetian forces in August 2004. In 2005, South Ossetia rejected a US-endorsed peace plan which would have seen the state given greater autonomy within a federalized framework. In 2008, it was agreed that NATO membership would eventually be granted to both Ukraine and Georgia at an indeterminate date. Thus spooked, Moscow prepared to counter what it saw as an envelopment. Any advance into the Georgian breakaway regions was therefore interpreted as a demonstration of Western ill intent. Then Prime Minister Vladimir Putin later admitted that plans to invade Georgia went back to 2006. Georgia was not viewed as a nation by Moscow, but rather a recalcitrant province with delusions of sovereignty. The war lasted for only 5 days between the 7th and 12th of August 2008 and saw continuous calls for moderation from Europe and the USA. The 2,000 troops airlifted from Iraq were not, as Casagranda suggests, a betrayal of US guarantees of support in the event of war. It was quite the opposite. The US had pledged to assist Georgian troop movements when Tbilisi committed men to the Iraq invasion. Moreover, the logistical investment in moving so many men and pieces of equipment in a mere 24 hours is hardly an act made in bad faith, unlike Casagranda's attempt to frame it as such. Internal US communiques published by WikiLeaks demonstrated that the US was eager to maintain the status quo in the Caucasus and was caught unawares by the quickly evolving situation. Rather, the idea that the US was puppeteering the war was a fiction created by the Kremlin. As in my last short, Casagranda has been caught playing skipping rope with the truth. Were he an undergrad who had simply failed to compare and contrast his sources, he could be forgiven his lapses. However, based upon this and further examples I have yet to publish, I intend to demonstrate Casagranda's conscious and willing malfeasance in how he presents history to his viewers.